What's up, everybody? Happy holidays. Welcome back to another episode of Two for Two, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voice of the culture. I'm your host, Quis, and I'm here with my co-host, Nell. And we got another episode coming for you guys today, man. Christmas just finished up. We had Christmas NFL games, we had Christmas NBA games, a lot of playoff implications in the NFL at this point, and so much has happened around both leagues, NBA and NFL. So we're going to get into all of that today, man. It's season 3, episode 21, Nell. Everybody enjoy it. Nell, my boy, how you doing? How was your Christmas?
I'm good, man. Christmas is good. How was yours?
Hey, can't complain. Peaceful, restful. Got to spend some time with family. Got
Yeah.
to see some
Got
friends
to,
back.
got to enjoy your team get a dub too. I don't know what that's like, but I'm sure
Two
it must have
dogs,
been fun.
man. Hey, Buccaneers win on Sunday. Christmas Eve win by the Bucks, and we had my Knicks won on Christmas Day. You know,
Eh, must be nice.
rolling into the new
Must,
year.
must be nice.
Rolling into the new year, man. So I'm good, man. I know your boys lost, so that's where we're gonna start, man. Cowboys coming off of a loss, you know, at Miami. Nell prefaced it. He said that they don't play well on the road. He didn't expect a ton of great things to happen. But nonetheless, at this point now, who wins the NFC East now? The Eagles won. They beat the Giants on Christmas. You all lost to the Dolphins. It's a two-man race. Where are you going with this one, man? What team is winning the NFC East, and what team will come down and face them Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs, man, in the wild card?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. The Eagles are probably going to wrap this division up. Um, it's just kind of crazy. I feel like Mike McCarthy should be fired just for letting this Eagles team win the division, a team that's struggling against a Giants team that we outscored like 84-10 this year. So yeah, Mike McCarthy's on my hot seat right now. But yeah, I got to give it to the Eagles. Dallas, I mean, look, they got another tough game against the Lions coming up. Clearly, they have not played well the last couple of weeks against much tougher competition on the road. And now they find themselves in a situation where you ain't going to get a home playoff game because of how poorly you've played on the road. So, sad situation for me. But the Eagles, I think, are front runners, even though they still look a mess to me. Um, Swift finally, started to do some things. Jalen Hurts, they looked okay offensively against the Giants, but defensively still not where you really would like a team of the Eagles stature, defending NFC champions. They're not playing defensively the way you would expect them to, but because they took care of business when they needed to, they've won games on the road. They, as long as they take care of their next two, which is just Arizona and New York again, I don't see why they don't,
Yeah. If
continue
they
to win.
drop, if they drop one of these two, if the Eagles drop one of these two going into the playoffs,
Then it's a real problem at that point.
yeah, at that point we're going, we got to figure something else out. I mean,
Tyrod
once
almost looked out for me.
I was just about to say, once
He
the
almost
Giants,
looked out for me.
yeah, he looked a lot different, or they looked a lot better. It took him a while to get Darren Waller going, which was weird. Um, but the Eagles won. That's where we go back to early in the season where we talked about those wins where they were finding ways to win games, but that didn't look great. That matters. On the other side, you got your Cowboys losing games pretty convincingly, I would say. When I'll play a pretty decent team on the road. I mean, that game in Miami, we can get into it. Michael Parsons being held much of the game. Tony Pollard hasn't looked like what we expected him to maybe look like, or at least what the Cowboys were hoping he would look like this season. But I mean, hey, we talked about it before we got on here. Y'all have a pretty good problem. You lose the NFC East, but you get a chance to play most likely a team out of NFC South, either my Buccaneers or the Saints. So, you know, I was watching ESPN early this morning. They were saying, if it was Dallas going into play, say it. I mean, for the playoff purposes, if Dallas goes on to play, a different team like the Niners or something in the playoffs, first round or not first round, but playing the playoffs on the road, that's a lot different than playing the Buccaneers or the Saints on the road. So, you know,
For sure.
there's still hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And like you said, I don't think the Eagles winning the NFC East is something that Eagles fans should feel comfortable about right now. Either way, they haven't looked great, and they have a lot of things to clean up as we get into playoff time. But the NFC in general now, it's kind of, we bagged on the AFC a lot this year. Like they don't have a clear cut favorite. Are the Ravens legit? The best three teams we did tiers, right? We got Philly and the Niners, and then we put Pat Mahomes and them around there, but they're not looking good. We'll get into that. And we put y'all up there as well. But hey,
Probably anymore.
them Baltimore Ravens, man, with a big, 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 big Christmas Day win over the San Francisco 49ers, made Brock Purdy lose his consideration for MVP. 4 picks, that's over with. Um, and they just look bad. The Ravens got a convincing win. Shout out to Lamar Jackson, shout out to John Harbaugh, Mike McDonald, former Michigan defensive coordinator. Are they the team to beat in the AFC now?
After this win, I've been saying all season, it's just something about the Ravens I don't like, but it's hard not like what I saw, against what I thought was the best team in the NFL, which, most people have been, especially the last couple of weeks, the way the 49ers were playing, uh, pretty much everybody, nationally thought, they were the best team in
Yeah, I
football
don't
at
think
the
many people
moment.
gave the Ravens a chance in this one.
I mean, I thought it would be a close one. You know, but yeah, I mean, look, you got to give them a ton of credit defensively, for what they did, forcing those 4 turnovers. Obviously, Brock Purdy did not have a great night. McCaffrey, looked great in the first half, but, kept turning the ball over, didn't leave a lot of opportunity for the 49ers to really run the ball and, get into their play action. So, it was a great win for the Ravens. I mean, the AFC is not looking good right now. The Dolphins won their first game, against a playoff quality opponent. Beating Dallas at home isn't really nothing to go crazy about. So like I'm not giving the Dolphins too much credit for that. But they're still a team that we got to contend with. The Chiefs, we'll get into them, but I don't think they pose too much of a threat. And I mean, honestly, the Bills are, right now, if the playoffs ended, if the season ended, they'd be in the playoffs. I still think, they might be the most dangerous team in the AFC. Now, Ravens for sure, they would have home field in any matchup as it stands right now. So, definitely got to look at them as favorites. But my heart still says that Buffalo, if they still hold on to that wild card spot once the playoffs start, I think they're going to have a big chance. And I mean, they still got a chance to win the division too. I mean, Miami and Baltimore play next week, so that's a huge matchup. And if Miami drops that one and then have to play Buffalo again, that could very well be for the AFC East. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a lot of playoff implications still, man. Going down to the wire in the AFC now, we got 3 teams that are able to actually, come out in first in the AFC. The Ravens, the Dolphins, they play each other this week, so that game will decide that. But also the Cleveland Browns, a team that we probably didn't expect.
Joe
They're
Cool
Joe Flacco getting wins, man. Amari Cooper had a big day. I know that,
had
that
Amari
hurts.
Cooper on my fantasy bench.
Hey, and I know that hurts you to see, man. Former Cowboy, trade him for a fifth rounder. We talked about it before.
Yeah,
He's over there getting it done with Joe Flacco, man. But the AFC is still up for grabs. But the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson looks great. He really made a lot of plays. It wasn't even so much that he was running the ball. I think he led them in rushing, but he had probably like 40 something yards. The Ravens, they just find ways to win. A man goes down on the offensive end, another man goes down. Yeah, as long as they got Lamar Jackson back there, they seem that they have a chance. And that brings me to what my next point is now. So looking at this game, we talked about Brock Purdy seemed to have played his way out of the MVP conversation at this point. After last game, I mean, there's still a chance. Bad games happen, but got Lamar who won that matchup, looked for all right, threw for about 250 yards on arguably one of the better defenses in the NFL. Um, Chris McCaffrey scored another touchdown, and Tyreek Hill still approaching 2,000 yards. Might not get there, but the big talk of the town, man, is who was your NFL MVP, right? We got 2 games left. I just named off most of the favorites. Dak was in there for a little bit, probably played his way off. Tua might be in there a little bit. That the people are saying Lamar's stats aren't good enough, right, for him to be. And it's kind of like we talked about with Jalen Hurts earlier, right? His stats was like you look at him, oh, that he won MVP. Okay, but they're winning. And is he the most valuable player on his team? To me, yes. Brock Purdy, pretty good stats, high QBR, good yards, touchdowns, whatever. But he's not the best player on his team. He's not the most valuable player on his team. We saw last night, even when they when he went down and they took him out, Sam Darnold plug and play touchdown first drive. So where are you at, man? Are you leaning, is it a quarterback award, or are you leaning with, Chris McCaffrey or Tyreek or maybe somebody else?
I like Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy was right when he said if anyone should be MVP on that team, it was McCaffrey for sure. But I really don't know who should be the front runner for MVP. Like you talked about Lamar, and it's like, yeah, his stats don't look great, but it's not to say he hasn't had been the most valuable player for that team for sure, or in the league. It's like you said, the injuries that they dealt with this year, and still every week able to continue to find ways to win games against quality component opponents. You got to give him credit for that. But I just don't feel that MVP aura the way I did in 2018, 2019, whatever it was when he won his first MVP. That year, he led the league in touchdowns. He had 36 touchdowns that year. He only has 19 this year. So it's just like I'm just not seeing that MVP aura. He had a QBR of 83 that year, QB rating of 113. This year it's 63 and 97 QB rating. So like, he's not playing nearly as well as he was his MVP year. The production isn't there as well. So like it's hard to say really who's the MVP this year. Like honestly, I do, if Josh Allen finds a way to win his division, he beats
Put him
Miami
back
last
in
week of the
there?
season. I think that would be a really good option. I'm If Lamar won it, I'm not against it. Those might be my only two options right now. Because I mean, Who else is out
Yeah,
there?
it's hard to go against a quarterback in this regard. It's just the MVP is just it's just a quarterback dominated award, honestly. And yeah, right now we don't have a guy that is great like stat wise. I think doesn't like Sam Howell or somebody. CJ Stroud might, or I guess he got hurt, so he might be passed. But like somebody crazy leads the league in passing yards right now. Um, like you said, but I mean, if I had to pick somebody right now, I'd probably go with um Lamar Jackson. I mean, despite the numbers, I think the winning matters a lot when it comes to this award. And I also think, I mean, we think about like what does it mean to be most valuable? They've lost several guys, and yes, their defense is playing amazing. Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen look amazing. Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, all those guys are playing really well, and that spurs a lot of what they got. But I mean, think about it. He leads them in rushing almost every week. He you look at his receivers. He lost Mark Andrews. He doesn't really have a true number one. Zay Flowers had a pretty good game. And Zay Flowers has shown a lot of flashes. Odell has flashed. Bateman has flashed. But only one thing remains constant, no matter what, is that's Lamar Jackson. So I have a hard time going against that man right there. I understand the numbers thing, but I mean, hey, if he wins the AFC, comes out as the number one seed, despite all that's gone on, he has a big game against Miami, coming off a win against you guys. You know how much they put stock into that. Dolphins beat the Cowboys, and then Lamar went in and thrashed them. So that's who my NFL MVP is going to be. McCaffrey has a good case. I wouldn't be mad if he didn't get, if he got it. But I just have a hard time seeing him give it to a running back, especially, you know, say the Niners slip again or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with Lamar, man. I feel like I have to. Hey,
Yeah, I think if he wins that Miami game,
yeah,
I think that one it might be stamped.
yeah,
But
it's gonna be hard.
I'm giving Josh an outsider's chance because if he wins that Miami game and they end up winning the division from where they
That's
came from,
that's a crazy
and
comeback story.
him carrying it, the last 5 6 games of the season where they needed it and he performed,
Yeah.
I think he'll be up there.
I mean, I like that agenda. I mean, Josh Allen, he was not in my good graces for a little minute. So, a little comeback for him. I'm not mad at it.
Calling
Bills.
that boy Jameis Winston. That's how bad the season was at that point. You were calling him Jameis Winston. Like
I I said what he was producing was similar to that of Jameis Winston. I literally said I'm not saying that Jameis Winston is as good as him. But if you're gonna give me a bunch of turnovers and a bunch of flash touchdowns,
He is
I'm just
nowhere close to 30 and 30.
I didn't say he was. I'm just saying at that moment in time, he might as well have been. And that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. And if hey, if Josh Allen turns around and they make a run to the Super Bowl, I eat crow. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that one on the chin. I'm an honest man. So don't try to do that. And James is a good quarterback, regardless of what you think.
All right, if you say so.
So we've been talking about the AFC now. We talked about, Lamar. We talked a little bit about Josh Allen now, Tua and the Dolphins. That man, Pat Mahomes, man, we got to talk about him.
Cooked.
They lost another game, man. Another one to a bad team. The Raiders, Antonio Pierce, go ahead and sign that contract today. If I'm Antonio Pierce, I'm telling him to send me my money right now. Big win for the Raiders, but the Chiefs, man, that's the talk of the town. It's not so much about the Raiders winning. It's about the Chiefs losing another game in a embarrassing fashion. Pat running all over the place, throwing the ball to nobody. I mean, it was one play we texted each other and we what was he even doing? At this point,
The ball back, the interception I got
all the back,
overturned.
yeah. At this point, though, the run game has been slow. Pacheco got banged up, came back, got hurt again. Travis Kelce, not looking like Travis Kelce we've known. They don't have a definitive number one. The defenses, I mean, they lost the game to a guy that didn't complete a pass in the second half. Are the Chiefs still a Super Bowl caliber team now? Flat out.
Not this year. They
Correct.
just can't. They just can't be. I mean,
Correct.
part of me feels like their defense gives them a chance in the playoffs. Because I mean, look, if you come down, if you get to the fourth quarter and you've got it's a one possession game. Like there's not a lot of guys that I'm trusting in that quarter over Patrick Mahomes. So they might have a chance, but ultimately, we've seen what kind of football team they've been. There's only 2 games left. There's not much different that we're going to see where this football team can grow going forward into the playoffs. They're a team that has issues, lacking with weapons and explosive plays. And I mean, just catching the football, period. Offensive line is not very good this year. Patrick Mahomes is turning the football over. So it's just a recipe for disaster, pretty much. And, I don't think they can overcome it this year. It's kind of the problem with them. Winning a Super Bowl is never a problem, but with them winning the Super Bowl last year, they figured they could just go out and trot out anybody on the field with Patrick Mahomes, and he'll just figure
Right.
it out. Him and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce, they'll just figure it out. And obviously, we're seeing this year that's not the case. Like you still got to give that man some talent to work with, an offensive line to work with, and we've seen what Patrick Mahomes can do. I mean, even just last year, with Juju Smith-Schuster, he got you to a Super Bowl, but he can't do that every single year.
Right.
Like you got to get him someone. It ain't got to be a Tyreek Hill, but you've got to get him somebody that can beat man-to-man coverage, can beat his guy over the top, and actually catch the ball.
Yeah. It's tough. We're asking a lot of them. I always say I respect Pat Mahomes a lot. What he does, far and away the best quarterback in the NFL. But I mean, my whole thing was I never bet against him in the playoffs, because in the playoffs he won't do certain things. But like you said, man, we got 2 weeks left in the season. And the last few weeks, he's been doing the same things, like over and over, holding on to the ball, running for his life, throwing a crazy pass, hoping and praying. And it just doesn't look good. But then he has those moments where it's a dime and then, it's a penalty, or a dime and then MVS drops the ball or something. But like you said, they can't, at this rate, you can't expect, you invested too much money in this man to continue to trot out, these guys that aren't gonna get it done. There's a Tom Brady argument. Oh, Tom Brady won with this and Tom Brady won with that. Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes are not the same type of quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That's just not. And then in today's current, I mean, I'm gonna say it. Tom Brady didn't, I mean, granted, he was 40 something, you know what I'm saying? But Tom Brady didn't look good going out, you know what I'm saying? And he had pretty good weapons. But in the NFL, my point is the NFL is just ever changing. The defense is harder. Like Do you see these guys that are playing linebacker in the NFL today? Like these guys run 4.3s. You got Michael Parsons out here running around like you gotta get the man some help. Travis Kelce is getting bracketed, double coverage, safety over top. A lot of eyes are on him. The offensive line doesn't look good. I don't know what they thought they were going to do getting Donovan Smith. I can't stand that dude. And I mean he's done what Donovan Smith does. So I mean they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. It's hard for me to say that, but it's a reality. I can't imagine, the way that the defenses in the AFC look. Like imagine that Ravens defense against Pat Mahomes right now with just Travis Kelce. It Pat gonna be throwing more than a helmet. You know what I'm saying? Him and Andy gonna be really getting into it. Uh, I just can't say that they would beat them. I can't even say, looking at, a Dolphins team that's more efficient offensively. Like that's the problem with the Chiefs. They're just not efficient. Pat is making as good a play as he can when he can, but I mean, the elephant in the room is you don't have a guy that's going to take the top off the defense. You don't have a guy that's really like Pacheco's a nice running back, but you're not really worried about the Chiefs running the ball. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if the Chiefs are running on you, you like your chances. So as long as Pat Mahomes doesn't have any real help, um, we're just wasting him, man. So I don't see him getting there. Obviously, they'll get in the playoffs and they'll probably win a game or two. I mean, at the end of the day, the magic is the magic, but it's going to be really, really, really tough. I have a hard time looking at the other Super Bowl contenders that we talked about. The Niners, even the Eagles playing at the way that they're playing. The Ravens, the Bills that you mentioned playing how they're playing, like the Cowboys. I can't see that
Don't
that
mention the
Chiefs.
Cowboys.
No,
Don't mention.
I just can't see the Chiefs going to play any of those teams right now with something on the line. And I'm saying like I trust Kadarius Toney. No.
He'll
Do I
probably
trust?
he'll probably get
Yes.
125 on us.
That would be crazy. But I mean, yeah, the Chiefs, man, they just down bad. They need to get some help. They got to invest in some receiver help. We've known this. They're trying to cut corners, but you got to get one. And Mike Evans ain't the one. So I hope they go and find somebody else. Because
I mean, Rice is nice.
I mean, no, Rashee Rice does look good.
He's been making plays the
But I
last
mean,
couple of
even
weeks. So
he's not like a
yeah,
burner. You know what I'm saying? He just get it to him and he's special. But it's not. Travis Kelce's not stretching the
not enough.
defense. Yeah,
Yeah,
he got some good pieces, but like you said, if you put a pure number one next to Kelsey, next to Rashee Rice, now that team is back to okay, you might lose by 30 at any given time because they just have they have everything else that they need, man. So Andy, figure it out, buddy, because you know we didn't pick the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl either over here. Either of us, I don't think, but we said we wouldn't be
that's
surprised.
Walt with all that Grim Reaper talk.
Yeah, so we'll see, man. I respect the Grim Reaper, but right now things ain't looking too good for him. On the NBA side of things, man, we had some great Christmas Day games, and we're gonna start with Mr. 1A, man. Shout out to Becky Hammond talking crazy. My boy Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks rolled it out. Finally got a win over the Milwaukee Bucks this year, man. They're making us play them 5 times, so we got one more game with them. But Jalen Brunson, 38 points and a Christmas win against Giannis and Dame. He's averaging 31, 6 assists, 5 boards, shooting 50% from the field, almost over 6% from three in the last 6 games. Now, I just want you to tell me that he's him. We talked about Halliburton when it was his time. Now it's Brunson's time. Is Jalen Brunson a top 5 point guard?
Top five. Let
Man,
me see.
right
Nah,
now.
ain't no way he cracking my top five. Let's see. We got Luca. We got Steph.
He's
We
playing
got
better than Steph now.
is he?
Do you hear the numbers I just said? I'm not saying he's better than Steph, so let me just stop. Go ahead.
All
Go
right
ahead.
then. So then let me get my list off.
Go ahead.
Trey. Have you seen Trey's numbers?
How many games have they won?
Look, shit happens.
Okay, go ahead.
What's that for? De'Aaron Fox.
All right, so you're reaching. Nice. I mean,
I'm
look,
reaching.
I'm not saying. Look, I'm not
I'm reaching.
right
Shea
now.
Gilgeous.
Right now, where is Brunson playing? He's an
Shea.
all-star this year.
What about Shea?
You didn't say Shea till just now.
But I'm
You
just
know
like
I like Shea. You
that's
can't
all right. But
use
now
that.
now I've
All
got
right.
six.
I would just say all these guys you're naming, sure. Pull the numbers up. You're a stat guy. Pull the numbers up and just let me know.
I don't care
Just
about
let
a little 6 game stretch. Like, what is that?
we had me on here talking about the Sixers about 6 game stretch last week.
Yo, we're hooping. What seed is the Knicks right now?
5.
All right, get a couple spots up to where we at, to where we can see you, and
How'd
then
y'all do
maybe
last night?
without our best player, I thought we played pretty well. And with our second best player having his worst game ever, I thought the fact that we were in the game was nice. I appreciated that effort.
Our 1A played and our 2 played and we won. And I just want you to say, like, I understand, bro. You using history. I'm talking about right now in the league. Is this man playing like a top 5 point guard this year? Yes or no?
No. If we having a game tonight and I got Steph Curry and Jalen Brunson,
Okay,
I'm,
but that's Steph. You talking about
I'm
the
taking
best point guard of all
Luka, I'm
time.
taking Fox, I'm taking Shea, I'm taking Halliburton.
And a lot of them lose. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. That's my thing. You're gonna lose. With any of those 4, you put any of those 4 on the Knicks and go play the Bucks yesterday, you walk away on 4. Halliburton did nothing since we talked about. Nothing. Nothing. We like Shea because he plays for the Thunder. I'm not saying he's not a dog, but I'm just saying you got a
That's
guy
the
like
only
that.
reason we like him.
I mean, he can hoop. I just say he a dog, but like who hates anybody on the Thunder? Like that's just weird. If like no, the
We don't.
Knicks.
We people hate Josh Giddey.
Well, there's different reasoning for that.
All right, well, don't say it.
And even still, he gotta.
Okay.
Okay. My point being, Jalen Brunson, he getting talked down on, right? He's not. You can't win a championship with him. That's what she said because he's too small. Whatever, whatever. Brightest lights,
She would be
Christmas
right.
Day game.
She would be right.
Christmas
First of
Christmas
all,
Day game. She could be. I'm not saying she's wrong.
good. She's
I'm not
100%.
saying
100%.
okay. He's averaging 30 and he's winning.
Cool. In the
Like, what
regular.
more do you want him to do? How many more points does he
No,
need to average?
nothing she said had anything pertaining to like the regular season.
Okay, just a championship.
Yeah,
Okay.
brother ain't gonna bring you a championship by himself.
I mean, how many do? None.
Exactly.
You're
But your
so
chances go way, 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 way down if your one is like 5'8",
oh,
5'10".
he's 6'3", 6'2". Come on, man. Hey, look, Jalen Brunson is earning respect around the league, and that's my whole thing. You don't have to say it yet. The numbers are the
Yo,
numbers.
he's a hooper.
And you acting like in the playoffs last year, he wasn't why we lost. Julius messed up his ankle. We had healthy Julius away from the ECF last
Stop
season.
it. Stop
I'm
it.
being we were one game
And then
away.
okay, and then you just let Boston get to the finals. So like
That's not on me. I can't control everything.
I can promise you, you will not attend the Knicks parade where Jalen Brunson was the Finals MVP of that championship. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see.
I think that's all Becky was saying too. So
Okay. Thank you. He's talking to you and Becky, man. Y'all will see. You don't gotta fuel a guy like Brunson. That's my whole thing. A guy like him that's a winner. He's been a winner at every level, man. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. And when it happens, I want you to come to parade with me. We can be right there together.
oh no, when it come, he probably gonna be in a different team by then. You thought he was gonna win in New York. That was a good one.
Nice. Anywho, we're gonna move on to another point guard, man, that I do respect as better than Jalen Brunson. Okay, like this is fine. Luka Doncic, big game against the Suns, Christmas Day, 50 ball, easy. No Kyrie, no problem for the Mavericks. What do you have? 50 and what? 10 assists, 9 assists.
I think he had like 14, 11, or 11, one of them numbers, and like
Yeah,
6 rebounds. He was
six.
doing
Yeah,
everything. He was doing everything.
he did it all, man. Knocked out the Suns.
As Pat Bev would say, he was putting belt to ass.
He was certainly was. Luka has been on an absolute tear this year. makes basketball look really, really easy. I was telling my boy earlier, I'm like, bro, 50 looked like another person trying to get 30 for him. Like he just took his time, got 50, ran
That's,
up and down.
that's the NBA. That's the NBA these days.
Yeah, it is. But
Shit.
the big thing out of that game though, the Suns, Tina, we had a lot, we were really high on. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me give my respect to Luca again. Luca, much respect, 50 piece on Christmas. But Kevin Durant, frustrations are growing according to social media. Right before we recorded this, Brandon Jennings, went on Twitter talking about he need to get out of there, save that man.
Hey.
Are the Suns done already?
That's tough because like I'm still holding out hope Brad Beal will come back, but it's not looking good right now. It's definitely not looking good right now. And the thing is, we just don't even. We've been so excited to see this big three, and we haven't seen 1 minute of it.
That's
And
true.
I mean, I don't know what it is with the big threes lately that they just can't get on the court between KD, Kyrie, and Harden, and now we got this big three. They just it's just not clicking. So it just must be the death of the big three in the NBA. So this season a failure. Probably a bit too early to say, but being under 500 at Christmas, I don't think anyone expected,
Yeah.
regardless of whether you got one of the three out, two of the three out, being under 500 and currently out of the play-in at this point in the season is definitely a bit alarming. I think they'll figure it out as we go along. Trade deadline coming up. We'll see if they can somehow improve that bench and the rest of that roster. But I really think it all hinges on if Bradley Beal can come back and play because I mean they need another guy that can help them score. I mean, defensively, I've said they're not really imposing defensively. They don't have a lot of depth at center. Nurkic has been okay, but
And he's hurt now too. So
now that
and
he's out, that just I mean it was like Derek Lively was just like killing them
it's funny though,
on
'cause
Christmas.
they said what KD was asking for help, right? And he gets 30 from Grayson Allen. Chemezi Metu
Yeah,
had double.
Grayson went crazy.
Yeah, like Metu
Like
had a double double in the first like half of the game off the bench. And like granted, like okay, like people got to understand within reason, like in the league, there are a lot of players that can get you that 30, right? Like Grayson Allen can score 30 if you give him a chance. Not saying he can average 30, but when you're looking at help, like you got two guys between Devin Booker and KD that are, I mean, one's top three, top five guaranteed, and then Book is right there on the top 10 line. You saw what Luca did without Kyrie, 50 and a W. And you got KD and you got Book, like they just complaining about refs. And I think, you look at it and it sucks because I was really, excited about this Suns team. I thought they were gonna be, competitive. Granted, like you said, Bill not playing, that changes a lot of things. But I mean, I think at this point, I don't see how it gets much better before it gets any worse. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the injury bug is what it is. Bill won't be back for another couple weeks. I don't know how long Nurkic is out. And the reality is, nobody's like they don't have nothing to give up to make that bench any better. So Grayson Allen is who you got. Eric Gordon is who you got. Chemezi Metu is who you got. Um, is campaign play for the Bucks. But I mean, you get my point. Like that's who you got. So between those two guys, between you throw Bill in there too, like you got three guys that have been all stars in the NBA. You gotta figure it out. Like you gotta figure it out. You got three guys that have been the 1A on their teams in the NBA. You gotta figure it out. So, and if it doesn't work though, you talking about 1A Brunson. If Booker KD want out, who got some pieces for him?
the Sixers.
Nice. No, the Knicks easily. So but either way, like you said, Sixers too, right? Sixers and Knicks in that sweepstakes looking. It's plenty of teams sitting around waiting. So my question for you, man, like if you look at that big three of that, say they say forget it, we throwing it all away. Like who you moving? KD or you moving Book?
I'm moving KD.
I
Book's
agree.
younger. Book's younger. I think obviously KD's, there's been some rumblings that, organization feels like he's frustrated. Obviously, he just wants to compete for a championship. This at this stage in his career, I think he would fit in perfectly in Philadelphia, personally. Uh, right alongside Joel Embiid and
Nice
Tyrese Maxey
plug.
and the boys. So KD, pull up.
You get him
Pull
without
up.
Maxi?
Yeah, yeah. We got
James
some,
Jones don't James Jones don't play.
we got some picks now.
Okay. I mean, hey, I'm not mad. Hey, I'm saying the same thing, right? Come on, play with
Look,
Brunson and
look,
Randall.
you seen what the glue guys did for us in the Hart and trade. So yeah, I mean, we'll throw you a couple of those. I mean, fill out your roster, give you a pick or two. I mean, let's go get this ring. Let's go get this ring.
Yeah, we'll see, man. The sky is falling in Phoenix, though. A team that they had a lot of success. They made a move, and we see this with Kevin Durant. It's starting to happen a lot. I mean, not even starting to happen. This has happened everywhere, actually. So hope they figure it out, man. But hey, once again, shout out to Luca. The Suns got to figure it out, man. D Book or KD. See y'all in New York very soon. All right, I had to make sure you heard that. Cool.
I
Then we
heard it,
got the
but like,
Nuggets, man. No, no, it's fine. We
it
don't have to
wasn't.
wait. Y'all, you said you want Zach Levine, so you take Zach. We'll take KD.
I'm open to the idea.
Hey, okay, that's fine. We'll have a lot to talk about as the trade deadline approaches because the NBA is getting crazy. And another team that looks like they got to make a decision soon, man. The Golden State Warriors had a fun game with the Nuggets, man. They got my boy Steve Kerr out here going at the refs again. Steve about to get barred from the league if he make one more ref comment. But Jokic got what, 25 and made two shots or something.
Yeah,
Field
18 and
goal.
18 at the line.
I That's crazy. But Steph
But
Curry continues
I
this.
bet they won't complain like they do when Embiid does it.
Oh, I feel you. I feel you.
For another day, but
Yeah, it's definitely we can really go in on that, but I'm with you. But Steph Curry, another Christmas Day,
stinker.
you
Doo
know,
doo.
he's had one good Christmas Day game in his career.
And it still shot terrible that game.
Yeah, and that game was bad. So Curry and Clay both struggled. Clay was on a tear. I think he had like 4 or 5 straight games with 20 points. I think he ended with like 9, maybe 11. You know, their best player was probably Wiggins off the bench.
Yeah.
So they lost. Big win for the Nuggets. I mean, Nuggets do, handling business as always, just another day in the office for them. But let's talk about the Warriors, man. Clay hasn't been doing great, right? We talked about it. He had a couple good games. I thought he was getting back on the, in the swing of things. They were starting to look a little all right without Draymond. They kind of, getting big minutes from Kuminga, Jackson Trace Davis, showing them some signs of life. But the two guys, man, Steph and Clay, didn't show up. Clay specifically, man. He's trying to get a contract. He turned down what, a 2-year, 45 mil, something like that. I would have took it. At this point, Warriors, right? Steph's getting older. Draymond can't stay on the floor. You traded, you got Chris Paul, but they don't have much else over there either. They let Jordan Poole walk. I feel like at this point in the season, it's safe to say that maybe the two parties needed each other. That's safe to say. But Clay, you're in the front office now. Are you extending Clay after what you've seen so far? And if not, what would you need to see to justify giving him a worthy extension? Because he's gonna want money. Clay got a little ego problem, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
This has been a tough one to gauge. Obviously Clay is, had a tough shooting season. Uh and like you said, he's gonna be looking for some money. And you know, if you hear the players talk about it, they say, it's not. It's about what you've done leading up to that contract, and some people will say it's about what you can do, once you get that contract and the production going forward. I see both sides of it, but when you think about it, Clay has been, and I mean, look, he had the ACL injury. He missed 2 years with injuries. Like that's going to change a player. he's simply just not the same player that he was on both ends of the court. He doesn't make it, much of an impact defensively anymore. I mean, the Warriors used to be top 5 defensive team, during their prime years. All his shoot numbers are pretty much down. Since he came back from the injury, his field goal percentage the last 3 years are the lowest they've been since his second year in the league. 17 points a game this year, lowest since his second year. 3-point percentage down, career low in player efficiency rating. So like I say, he's not making an impact defensively the way he used to. It's tough to see the reason for the Warriors, unless they go out and win a championship this year, which I don't think anyone can see them doing. It's tough to see the Warriors giving him that much money. And I mean, personally, I would love to see Klay and Steph play together, for their entire careers in Golden State. The Splash Bros, what they've done for basketball, I would just love to see it. But if the Warriors, especially, Steph Curry is still in the prime of his career. You've got a lot of money tied in there, Andrew Wiggins. You've got to make that basketball team a lot better if you want to be able to compete. And I think giving a max contract or close to a max to Klay Thompson, the way he's played the last 3 years, I don't think that helps you get closer to Denver and the top teams in the West moving forward.
They need another guy, and they need to be able to give that money to that other guy. Obviously, the Warriors would love to keep him. I mean, he fits the system, but what he's not is the number two.
Culture too.
Yeah, right. And like it's hard. And that's the hard thing about sports and building a dynasty. Like when you're winning and you have a guy like Steph Curry that's generational, that's like you're always winning. It's kind of like with Mahomes, right? It's hard to tinker with what y'all got. Like it was the demise of the Brady and the Patriots. It got to the point where it's like you gotta switch something up, but you don't want to because what's been working for you. This has been it. You feel like if you touch it and it ruins it, then you cook. But Klay's not the number 2. Klay's not going to be a lead scorer in the NBA ever again. I don't think he ever was, but he never will be. Because remember Klay's like, I can go be number 1 somewhere else. Like, yeah, you can go play in Detroit and be like Bogdanovich if you want to, but you'll be 0-25 and you're not going to like that because you're used to winning. So you got to understand you can't, for Klay, there's give and take. You can go chase that bag, but you don't do good when you lose, right? Like Klay's attitude is terrible when the Warriors are losing. It's terrible when they're missing shots, and it's hard to justify any team paying him max dollars to come take 20 shots a game and be inefficient. He don't fit. That's like what Klay does in Golden State. Not many teams can afford to have that, happening with the way they play. Like imagine him in Philly, like that's not y'all system. You better throw the ball in Embiid, and then you better wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be weird. I don't think he deserves the contract. He should have signed the one they gave him. Now, I know the business of this thing. Draymond got one.
When betting on yourself goes wrong.
Yeah, when betting exactly. Like, you gotta understand. Like, after a while, like them injuries, bro. That, like you said, it changes the player. He don't slide his feet like he used to. And I think even more so, like people not scared of the Warriors no more. I mean, that's a big part of it. Nobody's worried about them. Like, we'll stop Steph, and if Klay gets 30, then we'll figure it out tomorrow. Like it is what it is. So I think there will be a deal. Like they will re-sign him. I think it's just one of those things where unless the season just blows up and flames out and he gets into it. But I mean, realistically, I think the Warriors are probably thinking they got this, and this is how they've been thinking for the last few years. We got 1 to 2 more years where we can make a run. But they're gonna have to convince Klay to let that go and be like, all right, we can go after a big fish that can help us out, but he don't deserve nothing right now. He just don't deserve nothing right now. It's like if he can get to the point where he's averaging 20 a night, shooting 50% from the field, okay. But I mean, he shoots the ball a lot and does not do much consistently anymore.
And Wiggins hasn't helped them out much this year either. We see him coming off the bench now.
They're gonna have some tough decisions, bro.
Yeah, and he was their second best player in that finals for sure.
Absolutely.
So he was a big part of them winning that championship, obviously, which is why he got rewarded that big contract. But then you kind of see how just giving out those big contracts, it kind of comes back to bite you. But that's the price of winning a championship, right?
The Warriors are praying to God that when Draymond come back, he brings some good juju with him because they just, it doesn't look good. Even the Chris Paul experiment to me has been a waste. It's just weird seeing Chris Paul coming off the bench and like playing with Pods and Kaminga and Jackson Davis and then Wiggins. Like that's such a weird team for him to pilot. Like the Warriors are in a tough situation, man. So we'll see what happens with Clay. We'll see what happens with the Warriors, man. But big win for the Nuggets on Christmas Day as well. And then we got what is it? Week 17 in the NFL coming up.
Yeah, it's almost
Man,
that time.
we got 2 weeks left, man. We got three big ones, man. Three playoff, uh, you know, highly contested matchups. 3 games with playoff implications. We got the Lions and the Cowboys that we talked about earlier. Dolphins, Ravens, and then we got my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, can clinch the NFC South with a win over the New Orleans Saints
Crazy.
this Sunday. Hey, man, I was on here at the preview, man. I said I don't think my Bucks can win 6.5. I said I think we can, but will we? I don't know. We got 8 wins. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because it just talks about the NFL, right? 4 weeks ago, the Bucks is on what a 3-4 game losing streak, and they're like Baker's trash. Mike Evans need to get away. Todd Bowles need to get fired. I'm texting you like I don't know if I can deal with Baker no more. Run game is abysmal, and then boom, here we are, 4 straight weeks, 4 straight wins. Run game looks good. Baker, 2 straight really good games, man. Todd Bowles defense looks great. Devin White got benched or he got injured, benched, came back, caught a pick, looked inspired, man. The Bucks can win the NFC South. So we'll start there, man. How do you see my boys faring this week against the Saints, against Derek Carr? The Bucks won the first matchup. This is a historically split matchup usually. What you got? How you feeling about my Bucks chances to clinch, man?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Like you said, it's one of those division opponents that just split most of the times. But I don't know. There's something about this Saints team that I just don't like. It's mostly just Derek Carr. Um, he just has a tendency, just when you need him the most, or just when you think he's getting on a roll, that's when he comes back and hits you with a stinker. So I'm expecting a stinker from Derek Carr this week. Uh, I think it'll be a pretty close game. I think it'll be a grinded out affair, but I think in the end, Baker is playing better football right now. Bucks overall are just playing better football on both ends. I think the Bucks. I think the Bucks will make a couple more moves. I see you excited about my analysis. I think the Bucks will make a couple more plays and clinch the NFC South.
I just have so much respect for you now. So when you say things like that, man, it just warms my heart. It's the best Christmas gift you could have ever given me, man.
I'm glad I can be of service to you this holiday season.
Thank you, man. That means a lot, man. My Bucks are on a tear. I like them. I like them, man. We got. I mean, the reality is we only need one more win to clinch. We play the Saints, and then we play the Panthers. So one more and we in. We control our destiny. That's all you can ask for. This will be our third straight NFC South championship. We the kings of the South, man. It might be a sorry division, but we ain't pick who was in there. So we win the games we got, man. But we got Nels Cowboys versus the Lions. The Lions have clinched the NFC North. I don't know what more they have to play for. I guess we're playing for seeding. I could see Dallas really running away with this one personally. I'm not really like.
That Lions still in play for the 1 seed.
I mean, yeah. So the Lions are still playing for something. I personally like. I love Dan Campbell, right? Big Aiden Hutchinson fan. Love Aiden Hutchinson. Love Jameer Gibbs. I think the Lions have a really good crop of cool guys. You know what I'm saying? But am I sold on the Lions to be a contender? No. I like Dallas in this one. I think y'all have. I mean, when you get down to the end of the year, like we said, it's about the teams that's hot, man. You gotta get hot
That's not
eventually.
us. That ain't us.
Not right
The
now,
opposite of hot.
but you always got a chance to bounce back. Week to week league, man. So I'm going with Dallas in this one. I think that Micah in the pass rush should be a little bit too much. Um, I think that Jared Goff kind of he reminds me so much of Brock Purdy in the sense of like Goff definitely has a little more tools. I mean, he's got number one pick in the league. Like no disrespect to Goff, but I think that team is best when Goff doesn't have to do too much. When he can get it out to Amon-Ra, when they can run the ball with David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs. You can dump it off to Laporta and let him get some yards. That's when they're best. When that defense makes things happen, the Lions can beat anybody. But I don't see Dak and the guys, going down there. Or is it home this year? It's home this week, right?
It is home this week. We are back in
Home.
Dallas where they actually know how to play football.
Enough said for me. I'm gonna let you take it. Y'all in Dallas. I'm rolling with Dallas. But where's your head at on this one, man? 2 weeks left in the season. You need a win. How you feeling?
Very pessimistic right now. This is
Nice.
this is when I start to realize that my season's about to be over because
Mm,
it's December.
it is.
They start, they just start playing like shit. And like Stephen A says, I mean, accident waiting to happen. I mean, it's every single year. They pretty much just show you why they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. We already talked about their road struggles. Offense just doesn't seem to be humming on the road the way it does at home. Uh, Defensively, it just seems like they don't get enough timely stops. Penalties, they're still the most penalized team in the league. So, that's a problem when they hit the road and when they play good football teams. So, not a lot to like in Dallas right now. I mean, their only claim to, I guess, relevancy this season is the fact that they beat the Eagles.
They did.
I mean, if you want to call the Seahawks win a good win, I mean, cool, but
Yeah.
nobody's worried about the Seahawks and making a deep playoff run. So they got one, to me, real quality win this year. And I mean, at this point, I don't even really think the Eagles are that much of a quality team, especially, defensively. So, of course, a juggernaut offensive team like Dallas at home could get that win. But obviously, saw them on the road in Philadelphia. It was a totally different story. So, I mean, it's just two different teams. Uh, NFC is still wide open, but you know, Lions could go in there and win. I wouldn't be shocked. Like you said, Dallas probably two straight losses. I mean, you would think they would get their shit together at home with 2 weeks left in the season. So, I mean, I guess I'll say they're gonna win, but I'm in that mode where I'm like, I feel like they could lose any game they step on the football field in. So, yeah, it must be a time for the season to be over.
There you have it. You have Nell the pessimist. This is about the time when Nell prepares to go fully into Sixers mode. Um, he, at least with the Sixers, he kind of knows what to expect. For the most part. Dallas, unfortunately, the cycle is what it is. So I'm optimistic for Nell's sake, that they, you know, figure something out. Perhaps I want them to win the NFC East because I don't want to play against them in the first round. Because
I mean, that would be wise, but
I've seen that story before, and I don't want to deal with Michael Parsons again. I'm just kind of sick of, you know. He really messed up my year last year. Granted, I didn't expect us to win, but when you got like Tom Brady, you like, I mean, shit,
I I,
you
I
know,
feel
and then it just was ugly. So I don't want to see that. I don't want to see them back in Tampa until the NFL requires it, personally. So I'm gonna push off some of my good juju that I got here from my Knicks and my Bucks as of late. I'm gonna over to you, man. So hopefully y'all win because if y'all don't know,
need it.
I don't want to have to get on here and cuss fight with you, man. Week one of them playoffs, man. So I'm trying to save everybody. So Dallas, make us proud. We got my
I,
Ravens.
I wouldn't even look forward to a Bucks Cowboys playoff game.
See, that's ridiculous.
I'm just preparing to lose in the divisional round again. Same
Yeah,
same shit, different year.
gotcha. Okay. I like that shirt, bro. Is that a D-Generation X shirt?
This with Joel Embiid and
Ah, that's fire. Why
yeah,
you didn't show that off? Now, man, Nell, show the shirt off, man.
I'm
Come on.
not trying to show off my
No,
clothing every single
Nell
every
flexing every week,
week.
though. It's a week. That's hard.
Yeah, appreciate
That's
it.
a hard shirt. Yeah, for sure. And our last one, man.
Wrestling and
My Ravens.
basketball. It's my
So
shit.
yeah,
Wrestling and basketball come together. It's just my thing.
that's a good combo, man. There's a lot of spaces for that too. I ain't gonna lie. So whoever made that shirt, that's tough. My Ravens, my AFC Ravens, my new hometown Ravens, are facing the Dolphins at home this week. 1 o'clock game, all the implications. #1 seed right here on the line, more or less.
Ravens by 17.
Ooh. 1 o'clock game. 1 o'clock game. All the implications. #1 seed right here on the line, more or less. Number 1 seed right here on the line, more or less. Ooh. 1 o'clock game. 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 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dolphins
Yeah.
not really like that. I mean, like they look that win against the Cowboys really does not like it does not change any narrative about them not being able to, take down good teams.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, they just like us, they can't win on the road either, pretty much. So going to Baltimore, that's gonna be a extremely tough test for them. I mean,
Especially the way the Baltimore defense is playing.
yeah.
Tua's gonna
And
have a
no Waddle, Tyreek banged
night.
up.
Get hurt.
So
Oh yeah.
I expect them to put some pressure on Tua, force a couple turnovers, and I don't know. Ravens 1 o'clock games just be ugly.
They
So
do.
I think this will be an ugly one, and I think they
I,
win
I
this
might
one
go
pretty
down
easy.
there. I might go down there. I feel like, I might as well go check
Oh
it out.
wait, if you go down there, I might take the Dolphins. I might take the Dolphins. I ain't gonna lie. Pieces in the building. I'm taking the Dolphins.
All right, so we'll keep Nell's prediction will be pending my decision. You know what I mean? By the time y'all hear this, it'll be the day or 2 days, 3 days before. So I got time to decide. I got some time to decide. See them tickets looking like. Got to see the weather. It get a little that
Yeah,
that chill a little different by that water, man. So I'm gonna watch out for that one. But that's gonna do it for us, man. We got our pick 'em coming up. Nell
whew.
and I both 0-2 on the week, man. Nell
So
picked the
we suck.
Broncos to beat the Patriots, and the Broncos did not beat the Patriots. I once again picked against the Falcons to lose. Whenever I need them to lose, they don't. Colts lost to the Falcons, man. I'm now 9-7. Nell is 10-6. It's coming down to the wire, man.
Yeah, it's over.
It might be over. I'm gonna tell you who you got. Or I mean, I should have made a list of who you can pick from rather than telling you who
That
you can't.
definitely would have been
That
easier.
probably would have helped you out some. All right, but I'm gonna just let you know. Actually, you just tell me a team that you like, and I'll let you know if you already picked them.
I don't know if I like. Ooh,
And I'm gonna
ooh.
look mine up too.
Give me the Bucks this week.
Ooh, no.
Give
you
me the
know,
Bucks.
you cannot pick
Yeah.
the Bucks. Oh shoot! I turned my camera off. See what you did?
Yeah,
You
let
made me
me.
nervous.
Ooh, have I picked the Rams?
Oh, nope, you have not.
Rams or Bucks?
Come on, man. Stay away.
I should stay away.
You should. You should. Don't think too hard about it. Just stay away.
All right, because the Giants stink. Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams, just so I can just secure the win for the year.
All right. Yeah, you win this one. I'm cooked. So let me get right. Let me
You might
get
as well
right.
go ahead and take your Bucks.
I already picked them.
Yeah,
Made
true.
it. I sure did. Have I picked your Cowboys? I did. Yes, I have. Ah, I'm gonna go for the Thursday night game. Ugly. No, I'm not. I was about to pick the Browns. That would be crazy.
That
Upset.
would be a solid pick.
It would, but something about it, man. I just like
Joe Flacco's
he,
hooping.
he is going against the Jets again, though. And they did not use him how they should have. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Browns. I think they one of the few teams I haven't used. I'm gonna take a Browns win over the Jets, man, to try to even the score because you're gonna lose because the Giants gonna win
Nah,
against the Rams. And
they
we're
ain't
gonna
playing
take
the Packers, so they good.
that's true. That's true. So hey man, I need a win. Nell need a win to clinch to win. I don't know. Did we decide what happened if I lost?
We didn't, but we can discuss that
Yeah, we can
over the
discuss that.
next coming weeks. We can figure something out.
We can figure we can figure something out for you, man. So hey, that's gonna do it for this episode. Nell, you got any takeaways for the people, man? This is episode 21 of season 3, man. Holiday wishes. This episode will drop a couple days before New Year's as well. So, happy New Year to y'all. We won't talk to y'all
Happy
probably
New
until,
Year. Yeah, it
you know,
was 2 for 2. We'll see y'all in 2024.
facts. That's all you got for them?
Keep it coming. Just keep
Hey,
supporting. Hey,
hey,
appreciate y'all. That's all I got.
definitely. As always, man, keep supporting, showing love at 2 for 2
Dangerous.
everywhere you go, man. You got Twitter, you got TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Follow us, man. If y'all got some ideas for what the losers should get, drop them joints in the comments of a video, So just let us know. Keep supporting us as always. We appreciate y'all. We got some special things in store in the new year. So keep rocking with us as always, man. That's it for us. 2 for 2, episode 21 of season 3. We out.